Okay.
Live on Facebook, live on Insta.
Action. No paperwork. It's official. We have gone paperless. We say no to paperwork. Save the tree.
Oh, it took our industry a long time. It took our industry a long time, but we are here due to COVID-19. We are officially here with no paperwork in rentals. What that means, we have single-handedly in our business destroyed the biggest paper waster and time waster.
Which was, so to put in perspective, when people were applying for a residential property, they would give us an application with supporting documents, which could be as little as probably 5 pages to as much as 10 pages. And that's assuming they do the paperwork correctly the first time. A lot of the time they're redoing it 2, 3, 4 times. And that's a huge amount of paperwork when it adds up. When you look at the size of our business, we're renting 60 properties. You probably get 2, 3 applications per property.
Yeah.
So it's 180 applications a month. It's massive.
And that's if it's one tenant per property.
Yes.
You have to have an application
Yes.
per tenant. So we were making over,
let's say 600 applications a month.
We were making 600 tenants fill out digitally on one form or fill out the application form. Like, what a tremendous waste of people's time and people's money. What a tremendous, and guess what? The best part I love is the way that we're now doing it, guys. So for anyone who's watching, it's great for people that are prospective tenants taking properties through Novak, because we have reduced a process that normally takes a tenant and an agency 2 to 3 hours. We have reduced it down to 10 minutes.
Perfect. And tell us how, first of all, tell us how and then why. Like, I think, let's go why first. Why did you want to shift? Why did you want to change? What was wrong with paper?
What gave me the shits was, I'm pretty good at crashing cars. Over my 30-year history, I've crashed plenty of cars. Part of the reason I'm on the road, I don't think I'm a terribly bad driver. But the amount of kilometres that I do, I'm probably a bit more prone to doing it. But when I used to crash a car, I would have to go into the local NRMA. I would have to grab their orange form, take it. I would fill out the orange form, then I would take it back and they'd say, you got this wrong, or you're missing this, or you're missing that. Then I'd have to take it back in again. Then I'd fill out the orange form, then they'd process it, then they'd call me, then I'd miss them, then I'd call them back. And I was like, man, this is a crap process. Now, insurance companies ring up, tell them what happened. They are recording the conversation, no paperwork, no signature.
It's phenomenal. Yep.
So that's good. So that's the way our industry is working. That is what we've just come up with our video applications for tenants. So
thanks, Amal. Amal's joined. Jeff, thank you. Andrew, Luke, Nikki Parker, lots of people sharing the content as well. Thank you very much, guys. And this morning talking about paperless. So that's where the innovation came from, or a bit of that's how it should be. How does it apply to real estate?
Okay, so what we're doing, and I've got to thank COVID-19 for this, by the way. This, as Amal would say, the silver lining in the cloud. What we're doing now successfully is a video application for applying for a property. So what actually happens is our senior property manager will sit down and go through and call on a Zoom meeting and record on a Zoom meeting the applicant and approve the applicant in the Zoom meeting at the end of the Zoom meeting. Okay, so what they do is the call goes for generally between 3 to 5 minutes. The same questions that are on the written application form are now asked by the property manager, but you get to eyeball the people.
Yeah.
Now, You get to eyeball them. They get to eyeball you. Everyone gets a little bit more comfortable than the previous process. Now, we do ask at the beginning if we may record the Zoom application, and if we may share this application with the owners for their decision making. So what we do is we say, look, guy, at the end of it, if everything's check, we actually approve them, subject to critical document supply, which is basically license, employment, which we call up for them after that conversation. And I think there was sometimes if bank docs, if people want to supply it digitally. So basically that whole process, it was about 30 to 50 fields a tenant would normally have to fill out on a rental application form. We've got rid of all of that with the one video. The owners have gone bananas in the ones that we've done, because the owners are truly making the decision on if they like that tenant wholly to proceed or not. They've eyeballed the tenant, they've looked at the tenant, they love the tenant, or they don't feel comfortable. They may even know the tenant because they can put a face to a name. So it is a game changer.
100%. Now, look, and a great thing, if you're an owner out there, you get to look them, but they don't have to look at you. So I know some owners were like, oh, I may be next door, I don't want them to know who I am, or for privacy. A great thing with Zoom feature, the owner can have their face off, but they can actually look at the tenant as well. So it works for the privacy back and forth.
Well, what we've done with it is we actually that we have been doing YouTube private links for routine inspections for 5 years. So we've done about 45,000 video routine inspections over. It must be even longer. I think it's more like 7 years now. So what actually happened is we trained our owners to start knowing that they'll get a link from us. We've trained them that link is safe. We've trained some of them even how to use YouTube, because some of them didn't know how to use YouTube. So now that Zoom link, that Zoom video, we're actually giving it to the owners as a YouTube link as well. So they're actually already familiar with the process. We're going to get a YouTube link from Novak, and we know what to do.
Admiral, Luke, Jeff, I would love hey, Sean, thanks for tuning in. I would love to just hear your initial thoughts or any thoughts. Amal says, love it, but I would love to know your initial concerns, little things that you think, okay, what if that happens? We'll address them here. With a lot of us have all sort of been brainstorming this, so feel free to chuck in, well, what happens if this is the case? And we'll try and address that there, because I think this is a phenomenal thing moving forward. The speed of applications. A lot of applicants, their second language is English. So filling out a 10-page document is not the strongest asset. So having the voice-to-voice, the visual, you can really get to know someone when you eyeball someone as well.
They'll be getting dressed up for the video application.
Dressed up, Mark.
They'll be putting makeup on for the video application.
Yes. Tell us about if something goes wrong, tribunal. What was the idea? Transcripting it.
Yeah. So what we actually...
Tell me the answer, transcript.
So guys, if you don't know, there's a great company out there called Rev. They actually do transcripts of videos. So it's $1 a minute. So we actually, if we, in the event of going to a tribunal, we will transcribe that video application, because and we're probably jumping the gun a little bit, but sometimes when things go bad, we need to rely on that application in a tribunal situation. Now, in a tribunal so effectively, if it's arrears control or whatever, or if it comes down to the integrity of the tenant, we have to explain that we checked on the integrity of the tenant. Now, a video application, a tribunal member who hears the case, a little bit like a judge, will not be prepared to watch a video. Yes. So what we have to do is transcribe the words in that video onto a piece of paper, and that's what we supply the tribunal member in their decision making. Very rare, but that's also the backup.
100%. And thanks, Jeff, for all the likes. Because it's like you said, the positives so far outweigh the negatives. Like someone may say, well, for that example, but the time saving, I reckon you could do an application in 5 minutes from when they viewed it to getting all the answers coming through. Owners would just be like, wow. So I think this is one area where
the owners love it. The owners absolutely love it. The ones that
they get to eyeball the tenant. They get to eyeball the person who's going to be living in their property where they may spend $500,000, $1 million, their biggest asset. They want to know who's in there.
This is a person that's going to pay. Rent's a lot of money, right? You add it up over a year, it can be $30,000, $40,000. This is a person that's going to pay them $30,000 to $40,000. That's how important it is. We've trained our owners not to meet the tenants just because logistically it was not necessary. This is a way to meet the tenants because logistically now it can be done easy. It's less work. Now that's for the landlord. Now for the tenant, I hate paperwork. I think paperwork sucks.
Yes.
If I can just sit there and just have a whole bunch of questions thrown at me, answer them, done.
Much easier. And I would be more likely to apply for a property with a digital application, and I'll be more likely to pay more money for that property because the application process is easier.
Big time. I think that's a game changer, Michael. I think that is with the company that does a tenant application by video.
Yep.
I would go, you know what? Sign me up, screw the paperwork. Now, we're not saying we're not going to do the paperwork option, but I reckon there's going to be when we're in full force with it, it's going to be a huge take up.
100%, and this is taking it to the next level. Like, I think a lot of, Mark, we've been doing, and especially Lisa, virtual tours through properties, and it took a pandemic for a lot of people to start doing that. And I think this is our way of going, okay, you're catching up. I reckon if it wasn't for COVID-19, it would have been at least another 3 years before everyone got to the level they're at now. And this is another way, applications, and then we'll find the next thing. So a big message out there for all business owners and operators, keep innovating. And when people catch up, that's when you keep going even further. You don't go, oh, fuck, we had 3 more years of being the only people doing this before people caught up. It's just head down, bum up.
COVID-19 has made video conferencing a lot more comfortable for the world, for everyone in the world. Very, very comfortable, very, very acceptable. I was so scared to get onto video is what people think. They all think that. It's natural to think that because it's looking at yourself in the mirror, effectively, right? And sometimes people are a bit shy. So I think that
100%.
people have got around that. They got around that.
Even us, Mark, like I know even myself, it's always, you're sort of cringing when you're watching this back or you're listening to this back. So,
I don't believe that. I know with your head on all the billboards in DY, you have no shame. You are not shy at all.
You got to do what you got to do, but deep down there's always that little shyness. So the message out there to everyone, it never feels 100% comfortable. You've just got to do it. You just got to do it.
Just got to do it. And that video, if you look at that application process, we are going to kill in our business, and we have killed with the ones that we've done, an enormous amount of time for ourselves, for our landlord, for our tenants, video.
Yes. The best thing I like about it is instead of waiting till Monday now to get deposits for properties, Saturday afternoon will be gangbuster. You have 15 open homes. So how it traditionally works for rentals and out there, you do your open homes on the Saturday and people want the property. You basically say, go home, fill this out and come see me on Monday. And that was the norm. But then those tenants would have that scenario with 4 different properties. They would submit 4 applications, whoever was the fastest, and probably drop $10, they would get the property. So you're competing against force. Landlords missed out on so many tenants because of this. Now with this digital video application, you see the property on Saturday. Let's say from 3 o'clock, you've got no more opens as an agent. You could do 3 till 5 o'clock or 3 till 6 o'clock doing video applications, and you could probably have your whole properties rented by Saturday night. If you speak to the tenants and say, guys, after 3 o'clock, I'll be able to do a video application for this property and we can secure it for you now. Are you willing to do that? And I guarantee you, majority of them will. Then you get to Monday and you've got your properties rented, where most landlords are competing against other properties. So I think it's a game changer. But what reference, okay.
You know what?
Yep.
I had a guy come into the office, right? He's Albert, the hairdresser down the road. Now, Albert came in and said, look, you know, I've asked my agent 3 or 4 times to get for stuff and they don't even get back to me. So, you know what? I don't have the shits with the agent, but I don't love the agent. And you know what? I think I'm going to move. And you know what? I want to take that place you've got. I've seen the video. I've seen the photos. I'll just take it as it is, Mark. I'm renting already from you guys the shop.
Yeah.
I'll just take it. Now, he rented that shop 9 months ago. We've got all of his financials, right? We know he's a good performing shop. We can see it. But the process he has to go through we should be able to throw the keys at the guy on the spot.
Yes.
And the whole industry is in this bloody warped paperwork session. So it's going to take us and it's going to take anyone else in the industry a couple of days to process. It is not necessary. We are burning the owner's money. We are ripping the owner's money up because of that 3 days it takes for us to process and give the guys keys and do a route and do an ingoing report is 3 days of the owner's rent of a vacant property that's being ripped up.
100%. And I said, but what about reference checks, previous agents and employment? Sometimes they're not available to talk. I will say one thing before you get to that, Mark. With references, they're always good. Like the amount of even agents, if you've got a tenant giving you the shits and they're about to leave to another property, I reckon 80% of the time that property manager is giving him a glowing recommendation to get him out and go, someone else's problem.
It's not a reference check. It's not a reference check. It's an ass cover. It's an ass covering.
Yeah.
It's an 100%. Ass covering. All it is that the agent has the ability to say, I spoke to the employer and the employer says that. Oh, okay. It's an ass covering process. That ass covering process can be done prior to the execution of the lease.
Yeah.
Right.
In between the bid to the lease.
Right. You can still do it. It's a bit like your finance has been approved subject to valuation. It's the same process. But to cover your ass, you're already covering your ass. You're supplying a video to the owner and the owner's saying, take them. Or the owner's saying, check the employment reference, then take them. Your owner's going to give you the instructions. But you're right, Michael. It's an absolute, like, I've never had a bad one.
I know, it's a joke. What's the even point? Get the employer, but then even with the employer, if they've just let them go and the employee says, can you do me a favor and say you haven't let me go just so I can get this property? Like, there's no repercussion. Like, it's just, they're just covering their ass.
Banks stopped covering their ass. They worked out it was a stupid process.
Yeah.
Banks used to ring up and when was the last time I've got a bank calling me for a employment check? It doesn't happen. Banks stopped doing it about, I reckon 6 or 7 years ago. As long as they've got the relevant paperwork, there's your letter showing that you're getting employed, and there's the money's hitting the bank account. It's good enough for the bank. It's good enough for us. We're stuck in a time warp. We are stuck in a time warp.
Time warp. Already guys.
Finished.
Finished. Done. Finito. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for watching. Any questions, hit us up. Lots of new faces on this morning. Sue, Sean. Sean's been on a lot. Sue, and there was another couple that I saw. So really good to see some new faces on. Thank you very much,
the numbers have been huge. Hey, guys, thanks for everyone's support. Yeah. We're hitting sort of well over 1,000, 1,500 views every day now, and we're glad that we're adding for the day. And we're glad that we're adding value. We're getting up to 25,000 views on some of these shows. So it is great that we are helping people. That is a sign of people voting with their views,
with their time, with the biggest commodity, time. So we're very thankful.
And a lot of people flick us. We are suggestions on what to do with shows. Just reminded me, Mal, we're going to do a silver lining session this week, which Amal was a suggestion from Mal as well. But yeah, guys, if you need to know anything in the real estate industry, and you're sitting on the sideline and you're asking the question to yourself, flick us the question to us, and we'll tell you what our experienced opinion is on the matter.
Yes, beautiful. And look, Lucky's jumped on. Lee Russ, how are you, bud? Good to see all these people on. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:45. Tune in then.
Feeling alive. 7:45. Feeling alive. See you, everyone.
See you guys. Bye.